Today we are going to explain an American action thriller movie called Never Back Down, No Surrender. Spoilers ahead, watch out and take care. The film opens with the lead protagonist Case Walker whipping his opponent in a mixed martial arts match. He doesn't give the opponent a single chance to retaliate and gets him to tap right away. In the short recess, Case's coach comes up to him and tells him to stretch and hike the game to 2 more rounds, and then he can do whatever he likes. However, this doesn't sit right with Case. He does what he wants and knocks out the opponent as soon as the second round starts. His coach isn't pleased with Case and quits his job. Subsequent to Case's win, his old friend Brodie James comes to pay a visit to him. He talks about his enrollment in the championship, which is very important for him to win. He also introduces Case to one of the managers of his team who goes by the name Micah. He then talks to Case about his tough competition in the championship with a famous fighter Braga. James tells that his manager has fixed his match with Braga, whom he's scared of. James compares Braga with a machine that chops people into pieces. Hence, he proposes to Case to become his trainer and help him win the championship because that's his main goal right now. Case discourages him and advises him to stay away from boxing. James was not expecting that answer, so he gets drunk in the bar and heads out. He forcefully kisses someone else's wife in the parking lot. The husband and his people catch them in the act and pick up a fight with James. Case watches this from inside the bar and realizes that James needs his help since he's too drunk to fight or defend himself. Case goes out to calm the husband down, but he pushes Case away. This provokes Case to show his reflexes and make the bullies defenseless with a single trick. That night, Case gets James back home and crashes on his couch for the night. The next morning, James wakes him up and once again requests him to become his trainer. This time, Case agrees to train James for the championship and takes the very next flight with him to Thailand because that's where all the matches are going to be held. James attends his first press conference to solidify that he will be competing against Braga. Braga also shows up after a while and sits beside James to answer the press media. A random guy aggravates Braga by asking personal questions about his ex-wife. There is a sudden mood switch in Braga, and he throws a huge tantrum. He tilts the entire table and creates drama. The security shows up and takes him backstage where he breaks more stuff. James witnesses this from behind the door and realizes that Braga is a complete psychopath. Here, James gets in a dilemma if he should fight Braga or back out. Meanwhile, Case checks out his hotel room and gets ready to go to the gym where he will be training James. James' first coach, Maddie, is there already. He is bummed to find out James has gotten Case to train him instead of him. Maddie isn't happy about it and feels challenged by his position in the gym. Case doesn't like drama, so he parts ways and tells the coach he won't use any of his equipment for his practice. Case goes out and picks out a heavy tire and some planks to do his own practice. Another skilled fighter named Cobra shows up and gets into basic combat with one of the gym dudes for a warm-up. Cobra and James both are the best fighters in this gym, though Cobra is arrogant and thinks no one is compatible enough. He lays his eyes upon Case, who is not watching his match. He approaches Case and makes fun of him, not knowing who he is. James shows up and introduces Case to everyone. There, Cobra asks Maddie to fix his match with Case. James doesn't approve of it since Case was here to train him only. When Cobra mocks his skills, Case decides to go one-on-one with him and put him in his place. Now the fight begins in a cage where Cobra personally feels challenged and starts hurting Case. Contrary to that, Case doesn't feel challenged at all and sticks to his basics. Soon, Cobra grows weak and takes the support of fouls and cheats to hurt Case. Case is provoked to go heavy on Cobra. Case's final shot breaks Cobra's ribs. Maddie gets the match stopped and gets Cobra hospitalized. Back at the gym, the team manager Hugo shows up with his partner Micah to witness the situation. Hugo shows fake concerns for Cobra because he was going to bring in good profit by losing the fixed matches in the championship. Hugo comes to the conclusion that since Case has put Cobra into the hospital, he should be the one taking Cobra's place in the championship. Case already has his history with Hugo and knows it did not end on good terms, so he says no to his face. He also does not wish to participate in the championship in general. A naive boy named Taj from the gym vouches to take Cobra's place in the championship. Hugo appreciates his enthusiasm and gives him a chance to prove himself. Taj is sent inside the ring where Case is told to only defend himself and not fight back. This way, Taj gets to display all his moves. Hugo is not pleased to see the fight and calls it off immediately. As Hugo leaves, Taj and his friend come to Case and request him to become their trainer and teach them his moves. Case likes the innocent boys and promises to give them training once he's done with his practice. Case fulfills his promise and starts training the boys. He teaches them new moves and techniques every day. A few days later, Micah shows up in the gym to meet Case. Micah asks Case out for a date, to which he doesn't say no. Case is a gentleman. He shows at the date with flowers. There he meets Micah's daughter and finds out she's a single mother. Both get to know each other better and bring up each other's past lives. Maddie sees them from a distance and overhears the conversation secretly. In the next scene, Hugo meets up with James and Maddie at a restaurant where he points out that James doesn't look prepared. He questions James's strength and tells him to get some steroids pumped into his blood. James isn't so sure of it and slightly nods his head. Maddie takes an active part in backbiting about Case and tells everyone that he overheard him telling Micah that he went to jail once. Nobody enjoys this as much as Maddie does. Subsequent to that, James and Case practice in the ring where James fights Case aggressively. Case tackles him and asks what has been going on with him. James seems too distracted to be answering Case and keeps practicing with his hot-head. Later, Micah meets up with Case in person and apologizes for digging dirt on his past, bringing up his jail time. Case is a cool dude. He doesn't mind anything and accepts Micah's apology. James finally calls Case to have a word with him. The two go to a local place to eat. There, James reveals that he's already overwhelmed by Braga, and on top of that, Hugo is forcing him to take steroids to gain strength momentarily. He reveals that he feels like backing out like a coward, but he also wants to face Braga because his life depends on winning this championship. Case tries to tell James to not pressurize himself and back out if he doesn't feel like fighting. James doesn't listen to Case and decides to fight Braga in any condition. The next day after the gym, Case is visited by one of Hugo's men who offers him a good fortune in exchange for taking Cobra's place in the championship. Case isn't interested and denies the offer. Hugo becomes hot-headed when he finds out Case has ditched his offer for the second time. He plays dirty politics and leaks Case's 2-year-old video when the police arrested him. His hands were cuffed, but he still beat up the policemen mercilessly and damaged their vehicles. This clip goes viral in Thailand. When Case goes to the gym, he finds everyone grouped together watching his video go viral. The press media creates a negative image of Case and also shows up outside his hotel room. Micah shows up and helps Case get out of trouble. She gives him access to one of Hugo's mansions and assures him a disturbance-free environment. She also politely asks Case to participate in the championship since he has the potential, but Case reveals that he has no interest in fighting. The next day at the gym, Case finds a new trainer that has been hired especially for James. James knew the trainer already and tells Maddie how he loses control and harms his trainees. As he talks to Maddie to stop James' match with the trainer, James screams in pain. Upon taking him to the hospital, it is revealed that James' knee has been broken and would require surgery to recover his knee. The surgery was going to take a long time, whereas the match was within a few days. Hugo plays the big card and offers Case $1 million to play on James' behalf in the championship. Case is also concerned for James and wants to do good for him, so this time he says yes. That day, while cooking with Micah at home, Case starts suspecting that getting James injured was perhaps Hugo's dirty politics so that he could get Case involved in the championship. To prove his suspicions, he goes to the gym the next day and sneaks into the locker room. He breaks open the locker of a hardcore trainer who injured James and claimed it was done unintentionally. He takes out his cell phone and reads the entire chat with Hugo. Case finds out Hugo had paid him to purposefully injure James and take away his chance to fight in the championship. Case gathers his supporters in Micah at the mansion where he's currently staying and reveals Hugo's dirty politics. Case points out that Hugo is partnered up with Braga, and it's his way of making money by humiliating fighters like James and Cobra by putting them in a cage with Braga. He tells everyone that he has got to do something to stop Hugo from destroying people's careers for his personal gain. He decides to do things his way and take care of Hugo and that trainer. Subsequent to that, Case starts training hard in the gym to give Braga a tough time in the final match. Hugo attends a press conference before the championship where Micah tells him she's quitting because she knows about him double-crossing his own team. It is then revealed that the matches are going to get started soon. Everyone from the gym has come to see the matches with enthusiasm. A celebrity named Tony also shows up and gives his support to Case because he likes him. Now, before the match starts, Case goes to Braga and purposefully provokes him into a fistfight. Hugo shows up and tries to stop Braga because he understands what Case is trying to do. However, Braga loses control and starts fighting Case. Case slowly takes him near the ring where Braga beats him badly. Where Case gets to punch Braga, Braga retaliates with 3 more. Case's condition becomes worse, but he still chooses to fight Braga before the match because the majority of the audience and the media has not arrived yet, and he wants to take down Braga before the match even begins. Case finally gets up and decides to use mixed martial arts to stand tall against Braga. He uses techniques that Braga had never seen before. He makes Braga's ribs his prime focus and attacks them whenever he's given the chance. Braga appears confused as this had never happened to him before. Nobody dared to stand against him, let alone puncture his ribcage. Case kicks and punches Braga's ribs so many times that it makes Braga unable to fight back. Case finally finishes off with a kick on his skull, which knocks Braga out. Since Braga is knocked out, the match is disclosed before even starting. Case's supporters start cheering for him. On the other hand, Hugo's financiers and sponsors scold him for not advertising their brand since the match got canceled. They cut deals with Hugo and tell him to return their finances. Hugo shows up to Case in a fit of rage and threatens to sue him and have him arrested for cheating. Case reveals that he knows about his illegal activities and also has proof that he purposefully got his own player James injured for his benefit. Hugo is put in his place, so he leaves in humiliation. James also shows up and starts thanking Case for staying by his side and fighting for him. The film ends with Case, Micah, and their supporters walking out of the arena together. Subscribe to see more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.